What makes Krispy Kreme donuts so irresistibly delicious? It's not just the glaze, it's the magic behind the scenes. From fluffy dough mixed to perfection to their iconic hot light moment, each donut embarks on a mesmerizing journey through a high-tech factory. Picture this, a conveyor belt of golden rings rising, flipping, and dipping into a glossy waterfall of sweetness. It's a symphony of precision, flavor, and a sprinkle of nostalgia. Stay tuned as we unveil the secrets of how these world-famous treats go from dough to your taste buds. Warning, you will crave donuts after watching this. With over 1,400 shops across more than 30 countries, Krispy Kreme has become a global phenomenon, selling roughly 3.5 billion donuts annually. Their iconic original glazed donut has sparked a cult following, with fans known to drive hours just to get their hands on a fresh batch. When new stores open, it's not uncommon to see lines wrapping around buildings, with some dedicated fans camping overnight. In Japan, the opening of their first Tokyo store in 2006 saw thousands of people waiting up to 3 hours just for a taste. While the Times Square flagship store in New York serves over 380,000 customers annually. This isn't just a donut chain, it's a cultural touchstone that's transformed a simple sweet treat into a worldwide obsession. Let's take a trip back to 1937. That's when Krispy Kreme's story all began, thanks to a guy named Vernon Rudolph. He was just a young entrepreneur with big dreams and a secret recipe for yeast-raised donuts that he bought from a French chef in New Orleans. Armed with this recipe, Vernon set up shop in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. At first, he was just selling donuts to local grocery stores, but then something magical happened. People walking by couldn't resist the smell of fresh donuts baking. So what did Vernon do? He literally cut a hole in the wall of his shop so people could buy donuts straight from the source. And just like that, a legend was born. The star of the show, the original glazed donut. Light, fluffy, and coated in that iconic sugary glaze. It's the treat that put Krispy Kreme on the map. But it wasn't just the taste that made Krispy Kreme special. It was also Vernon's forward-thinking approach to production. In the 1940s, the company started designing its own donut-making equipment. By the 1950s, Krispy Kreme was expanding across the Southeast, with those iconic green-tiled shops becoming a familiar sight. Then came the game changer. In 1963, Krispy Kreme introduced automated machinery that made producing donuts faster and more consistent than ever before. Suddenly, they could make thousands of donuts a day without sacrificing quality. And let's not forget the hot light, that glowing red beacon letting you know that fresh, warm donuts are ready. It became a symbol of joy for donut lovers everywhere. By the 1980s, Krispy Kreme wasn't just a southern thing anymore. It was spreading across the country, winning hearts with every bite. In 2000, the company went public, and that's when things really started to heat up. Krispy Kreme expanded globally, opening stores in places like Canada, the UK, and even Australia. Of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing. The mid-2000s brought financial troubles and tough competition, but Krispy Kreme bounced back, doubling down on what they do best, making people happy with their delicious donuts. In 2016, JAB Holding Company took over, giving the brand a fresh start and the resources to keep growing. Fast forward to today, and Krispy Kreme is a global icon, serving up millions of donuts every single day. Whether you're grabbing an original glazed fresh off the line or trying one of their creative new flavors, it's clear that Krispy Kreme has stayed true to its roots. It's all about great donuts, happy customers, and a sprinkle of nostalgia. From a tiny shop in North Carolina to a worldwide sensation, Krispy Kreme's journey is as sweet as the treats they serve. And honestly, who wouldn't want to be part of that story? So, how are Krispy Kreme donuts made in the factory? Every Krispy Kreme donut begins with a special dough recipe that's been perfected over the decades. The dough isn't something you can just whip up in the kitchen. It's a carefully crafted blend of ingredients designed to create that signature light and fluffy texture. In the factory, giant mixers are loaded with flour, sugar, water, yeast, and other secret ingredients. This step is all about precision. This mixing process is timed, down to the second, to ensure that the dough has the perfect consistency. Too much mixing? Well, the donuts come out dense. Too little? They fall apart during frying. Once the dough is mixed, it's given time to rest. This is where the magic of yeast comes in. During the resting phase, the yeast gets to work, causing the dough to rise and become airy. It's this step that gives Krispy Kreme donuts that melt-in-your-mouth texture. Next comes the shaping process, where the dough begins to take on its signature form. After rising to the perfect consistency, the dough is carefully rolled out and cut into those iconic rings that we all know and love. The Krispy Kreme doesn't stop there. While the classic ring donut steals the spotlight, they also craft delicious fill varieties. These start as solid rounds, waiting to be transformed into treats, bursting with flavorful fillings like creamy custards, fruity jams, or rich chocolate. Every shape is precisely crafted to ensure consistency, setting the stage for the next steps in the sweet production journey. Now here's where things get fun: the conveyor belt. The cut dough is placed onto a moving belt that carries it through the next stages of production. Each piece is perfectly spaced, so no donut gets squished or stuck. It's like a little donut parade, and watching it, it's oddly mesmerizing. Before they're fried, the donuts go through a process called proofing. They're placed in a warm, humid environment where they rise one last time. This step is crucial. It's what makes the donuts so light and fluffy. Imagine rows of donut rings slowly puffing up, almost doubling in size. At this point, they're soft, delicate, and ready for the next big step. Now comes the part that everyone loves: frying. These proof donuts are gently lowered into a fryer filled with hot oil. This isn't your average frying pan. It's a long, shallow fryer designed specifically for donuts. The donuts float to the top of the oil, frying to a golden brown on one side, and then, like magic, a mechanical arm flips them over, allowing the other side to cook. Watching this process is oddly satisfying. It's like watching donuts come to life. The frying step is perfectly timed to ensure that every donut is crispy on the outside but soft and pillowy on the inside. There's no room for error here. Too long and the donuts burn. Too short and they're undercooked. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for: the glaze waterfall. After frying, the donuts cool for a few moments before heading toward the most iconic part of the Krispy Kreme process. As the donuts travel along the conveyor belt, they pass under a curtain of warm, liquid glaze. This isn't a drizzle or a sprinkle, it's a full-on waterfall. The glaze coats each donut in a smooth, sugary layer that hardens into the perfect, shiny finish. Here's a fun fact for you: the glaze recipe hasn't changed much since the early days of Krispy Kreme. It's one of the reasons their original glazed donut tastes the same no matter where or when you buy them. For the classic original glazed, the journey ends here, but for other varieties, this is where the real creativity begins. Some donuts are filled with rich custards, fluffy creams, or fruity jams. Others are dipped in chocolate, sprinkled with nuts, or topped with colorful designs. The filling process is just as precise as everything else. Machines inject the perfect amount of filling into each donut, ensuring that no one gets a bite that's all dough and no filling. For toppings, the donuts are hand-dipped or placed under sprinklers that evenly coat them with chocolate, powdered sugar, or other flavors. It's a combination of automation and human artistry, making every donut look as good as it tastes. Before any donut makes its way to you, it goes through a final quality check. Krispy Kreme takes this part seriously. Each donut is inspected to ensure it meets the company's high standards. If it's too small, too big, or doesn't look just right, it doesn't make the cut. This attention to detail is why every Krispy Kreme donut you bite into feels like it was made just for you. One of the coolest things about Krispy Kreme is the hot light experience. When the light is on, it means fresh, warm donuts are coming off the line. Customers can watch the entire production process through large glass windows while waiting to get their hands on a donut that's still warm. There's something magical about biting into a Krispy Kreme donut when it's fresh out of the fryer. The glaze is still soft, the dough is warm, and it practically melts in your mouth. It's an experience that keeps people coming back for more. Once the donuts are made, they're either sold in-store or shipped to other locations. Krispy Kreme has perfected the art of transporting their treats while keeping them fresh and delicious. Whether you're grabbing a box from a shop or picking some up at your local grocery store, you're getting donuts that were made with the same care and precision. Krispy Kreme also loves to innovate. Seasonal flavors, limited edition collaborations, and themed donuts keep things exciting for fans. But no matter how creative they get, the original glaze remains the heart and soul of the brand. What makes Krispy Kreme donuts so special? It's a combination of tradition, innovation, and a commitment to quality. Every step of the process, from mixing the dough to the final glaze, is designed to create the perfect donut experience. And it's not just about the taste. It's the memories tied to those moments when you see the hot light on or share a box of donuts with friends and family. Krispy Kreme has mastered the art of making something as simple as a donut feel like a little piece of joy. And there you have it, the sweet, mouth-watery journey of how Krispy Kreme donuts are made today. From the carefully crafted dough to that iconic glazed waterfall, every step is a testament to tradition, innovation, and a little bit of magic. Next time you walk into a Krispy Kreme shop or open a fresh box of donuts, you'll know exactly what went into making them so irresistible. So whether you're an original glaze fan like myself or love trying their creative flavors, one thing's for sure, there's nothing quite like a Krispy Kreme. Now, who's craving a donut? But don't keep the craving to yourself. Share the video with your fellow donut lovers and let them in on the magic of Krispy Kreme. And if you got a favorite Krispy Kreme donut or a story about that first bite when the hot light was on, drop it in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more behind-the-scenes stories about the foods you love. We'll see you in the next one.